2 World Cup winners, a Euro champion, a whole bunch of talented players all over the pitch, and a classic Cholo Simeone. Is Atletico Madrid capable of fighting the odds and winning La Liga with strong competition from Real Madrid and Barcelona? Well, let's find out. So first of all, I thought about making this video before the away game against Barca, but decided to wait and see what would happen in one of the biggest games of the season. And well, I'm glad I waited because this game gave me a lot to talk about. To beat this incredible Barcelona side under Hansi Flick in the dying moments, well, that was prime Simeone-ball right there. Many pundits have expressed their frustration at Atletico Madrid's boring display, but let's be realistic. Cholo had always had this philosophy, and there's no denying that he's been one of the most successful coaches in the world over the last 10 years. But more on that in a minute. Let's focus on the stats against Barcelona. 5 shots against 19 for the opposition, 2 big chances created against 7 for Barcelona, 37% possession against 63, 0.62 expected goals against 2.72, but most importantly, 2 goals scored against 1 for Barcelona. If you want to study football coaching one day and practice a defensive philosophy like Diego Simeone's, this is the game to use as a starting point. Atletico Madrid's players were solid throughout the whole game, with defender Clement Lenglet, midfielders Barrios and De Paul, and goalkeeper Jan Oblak earning the most praise. The Atletico Madrid number 1 deserves a dedicated video to highlight his monumental role in the team, but I really can't think of a more consistent goalkeeper in the last decade. Even names like Courtois and Manuel Neuer have suffered dips in form, but Oblak is in a league of his own when it comes to consistency. Of course, we can't talk about this incredibly intriguing match between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid without mentioning Barca's inspiring attacking play. Pedri was phenomenal, Rafinha also had a good game, Gavi had his moments, but overall, it was Atletico Madrid who deserved the flowers. And now, the biggest advantage Atleti gained from this win. As you may know, in the event of a tie at the end of a La Liga season, it is the result of the head-to-head matches that count, not the goal difference. On that basis, Atletico Madrid have the edge over Barcelona at the moment, and so, with this win, Atletico Madrid are now top of the league, 1 point ahead of Real Madrid and 3 points ahead of Barcelona, with the 2 Madrid giants even having a game in hand. On top of that, Atletico are not only the team in the best form of the 3, but as crazy as it sounds, they've also been on top of Europe for the last 2 months. Apart from Atletico, no team in the top 5 leagues has a 100% win record in their last 11 games, not even Liverpool and Chelsea. Starting with a 2-0 win in the first round of the Copa del Rey, at the end of October, Los Colchoneros have won every game, culminating in that massive victory over Barcelona. In that time, they've overcome other good teams such as Seville and PSG to put themselves in a great position to challenge for La Liga, and also qualify for the top 8 in the Champions League, where they currently sit 11th, just 1 point behind 8th placed Brest. But the big question remains, what makes Atletico Madrid so effective in 2024-25? To answer this, we have to go all the way to last season. Back then, there were rumours that Cholo Simeone would be leaving the Metropolitano if the management doesn't allocate the necessary budget to fight for the title. And well, President Enrique Cerezo heeded Simeone's words, even though there was a time when the fans were genuinely concerned that their legendary coach might leave the club after 13 years. To be perfectly honest, Simeone was indeed frustrated by management's approach to the transfer market. Since their last title win in 2021, Atleti have spent a total of €175 million on new players, which has been extremely low for the club's high ambitions. This has had an impact on the final standings in the 3 seasons following the title, as they never managed to challenge Barca and Madrid, 3rd in 2022 and 15 points behind champions Real Madrid, 3rd again in 2023 and 11 points behind champions Barcelona, and then the absolute rock bottom, 4th in 2024 and 19 points behind Real Madrid. Yes, last season was indeed one of the worst for Atletico under Diego Simeone, but still, it was an additional reason for the management to fill Cholo's request. And so, the 2024 summer transfer window arrived. Remember the amount Atletico spent in total over the last 3 seasons? That's right, €175 million. Well, in 2024 alone, Los Colchoneros reached new heights, spending €185 million, most of it on 4 key players: Julian Alvarez, Conor Gallagher, Robin Lenormand, and Alexander Sorloth. And that figure is without the add-ons that could take the investment to over €200 million. For example, the variables in Alvarez's contract are set at $20 million if he scores a certain number of goals and wins the La Liga title. The way things are at the moment, you can be sure that Atleti would happily pay whatever Manchester City are asking if Julian keeps on performing like that. Yes, some of the players went through a period of adjustment, But that is all in the past now. Alvarez is tearing up the nets, especially in the Champions League. The Normand is putting in some fine performances at the back. Gallagher is on the rise, but the biggest story of the season so far is certainly Alexander Sorloth. The €32 million signing from Villarreal has already justified the investment. So far, he scored 8 goals and laid on 2 assists in his Atletico career so far, as his attacking returns have earned his team 12 points in La Liga. Yes, that sounds unbelievable, but he's undoubtedly the most influential striker in the team, even with the presence of stars like Alvarez and Antoine Griezmann. In La Liga alone, Sorloth is Atletico Madrid's top scorer with 8 goals, and when you add that to his 2 assists, he can truly be described as the most prolific Norwegian striker at the moment. Sorry Haaland fans, but the Man City star has dropped down the pecking order with just 2 Premier League goals in the last 2 months. By comparison, Sorloth has scored 2 in his last 2 games alone, netting the winners against both Getafe and Barcelona, and earning 4 points for Atletico. If we zoom out a bit, he also scored the winning goals against Alaves, Las Palmas and Liga, as well as the equaliser against Villarreal. But the craziest thing is that Sorloth is most effective when he comes off the bench. In fact, of the 8 goals that he scored in La Liga so far, 5 have come from him as a substitute. So all in all, Sorloth may not be the most impressive dribbler and passer, but he's unstoppable in the 6-yard box. He's doing a fabulous job for Simeone and is undoubtedly one of the most efficient players in the league, scoring a goal every 97 minutes, which puts him 5th in this regard. By the way, if you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future episodes. But who is the man responsible for making Atleti's La Liga title dreams come true once again? Well, that would undoubtedly be Diego Simeone. As we said at the beginning, Simeone has always had his critics, no matter if he has won 2 titles, leaving both Barcelona and Real Madrid trophyless, no matter if he's reached 2 Champions League finals. Cholo Simeone has never commanded the respect of the majority of the footballing community. Yet, he deserves his admirations, especially for the way he's transformed Atleti into one of Europe's giants since his arrival in December 2011. At that time, Atleti were a club steeped in history, but largely lost in the modern era, struggling in mid-table obscurity for almost a decade after their return to La Liga in 2002. In the space of a few months, however, Simeone transformed a struggling side into Europa League winners, setting the stage for a revolution. Under Simeone, Atletico didn't just improve, they shattered expectations. In 2014, his relentless work ethic and defensive mastery led them to a historic La Liga title, breaking the decade-long reign of Barcelona and Real Madrid. In the same season, Atletico came agonisingly close to European glory, losing out to Real Madrid in the final moments of the Champions League. 2 years later, Simeone's men returned to the biggest stage, but once again, they fell to their city rivals in a heartbreaking penalty shootout. Although painful, these near misses cemented Atletico's place amongst Europe's elite. Domestically, they continued to perform well after their 2014 triumph, finishing 3rd 4 times and 2nd twice, leading to another iconic year. In 2021, Atletico won the title once again, taking revenge on Real Madrid by finishing 2 points ahead. And now, 4 years later, and Atletico Madrid probably have their last chance to add another La Liga title to their trophy cabinet in one of the last seasons with Simeone in charge. Speaking of his style of play, Simeone attempted to change it radically last season, relying mainly on attack. Well, that shift was reflected in the team's final standings, as Atletico finished outside the top 3 for the first time in Simeone's era. In 2024-25, and following a summer of major investment, Atletico Madrid have returned to their familiar philosophy. Yes, Los Colchoneros aren't scoring as many goals as they did last season, just 1.8 per game, but they are the most defensively sound team in Spain, having conceded just 12 times in 18 La Liga games so far. This, in turn, makes Atleti the team with the most balanced squad. Yes, they don't have superstars like Yamal, Lewandowski, Vinicius or Mbappe, but they are solid all over the pitch, and as of early January 2025, there are really no significant weaknesses in their team. So what do you think? What impresses you most about Atletico Madrid? And do you think they can cope with the firepower of Real Madrid and Barcelona? Let us know down below. If you enjoyed this one, you'll surely enjoy our analysis on Real Madrid's season, so jump straight in.